What is up, everybody? Been playing this new Title Update 5 fake DLC content for the last day, and there's some pretty cool changes, some that weren't in the patch notes, and one of them is that BERSERK now works with LMGs. Who would have known Willis Gaming build was actually a real thing? So I made one. It's called the Willis Gaming build. This is not a troll build like my 20 blue build. This is a real build. So just to let you guys know, 20 blue build, that was fake news. That was really bad. But the Willis Gaming build, which consisted with LMGs and BERSERK, they now work. He saw to the future and pre-made that build like a month in advance. So I'm really proud of you, Willis. Thank you very much. But we finally tuned this build. I had two versions. I tried one with clutch and max crit chance. And then I tried one with just more health and no clutch. And this is the form that has no clutch and max crit, or no clutch and more health and not a bunch of crit chance. So let me get into it. We are using a LMG. It is a black market M60, and it's got unhinged on it with accurate and protected reload. I would prefer, what's that talent called that's not accurate? It's called optimized. I would rather have optimized than accurate because it also gives like some stability and stuff too. But accurate's still pretty nice. Protected reload's nice if you're actually reloading your LMG, which in this iteration of the build, I do reload it, but you can swap the holster. I'll get to that in a bit. And unhinged obviously is really, really good. You lose 25% weapon handling, but I am running this build with the gunner spec, and you gain 20% of that back. So it's only a loss of 5% weapon handling for a gain of 20% weapon damage. Not too bad. The exotic that I'm running is the Nemesis. Now, the reason I run the Nemesis is, you can snipe things from far away, which sometimes with LMGs, it's kind of a pain in the ass to hit them from far away accurately. So you got that Nemesis, but mainly it's because while holstered, you gain 25% headshot damage with your current weapon. If you look at the mods on my M60, I painted it like an eagle bearer. It's not quite as good, but it's still pretty cool. The C79 scope, this is a 3.4x. It actually gives you the headshot damage benefits without zooming in. So that's pretty cool. You don't actually have to zoom in to get the benefits. The other mods is I'm running the 50 round mag from the gunner spec, running damage to elites on the muzzle, and stability on the underbarrel. You could go crit chance, you could go reload speed, you could go accuracy, whatever you feel like on the underbarrel. I like the stability. As far as my sidearm, I run a double barrel, mostly because it has in rhythm. I never actually fire my double barrel at anything, but I use it for the in rhythm proc. As far as skills go, I'm running a Reviver Hive and a Defender Drone. You could run whatever you really feel like, honestly. The skills aren't that important to the build. You can change them. This is not a high skill power version. Some people think that it is best to run unhinged, or not unhinged, on the ropes for their backpack talent. And I don't think it's worth it. The reason why is the versions I've seen are like 777 builds, if you're lucky. But if you're going to have 7 yellows, likely you will not have more than 7 reds. And the problem is if you drop, from 7 to, from 11 to 7, you just lost 4 reds, potentially 4 red mod slots. And if it's 4 red mod slots, that's, 24 to 28% weapon damage that you just lost from your mod slots. And you gained what? 25% weapon damage when your skills are on cooldown. So then you're limited in what skills you choose, and you got to keep them up. Not what I wanted. So that's a different build version, and not the one that I am preferring to use. I want consistent damage that's up all the time, and I want to be able to use whatever skills I want to use. So at the heart of it is BERSERK. I'm going to go with my chest piece first here. I know some people think, oh, I use Fenris because it has assault rifle damage. You're not even using an assault rifle. Well, it's because they roll 2 talents. It's the only chest that does. BERSERK, hard hitting. That's top dog right there. Stridsvost with the red mod slot. We now have, this is my shittiest version of the mods that I have. Only 5% weapon damage, but you can get 6 or 7. I just haven't gotten lucky enough on my mods. So talents on here is the BERSERK hard hitting. Attributes, we've got weapon damage. I wish it was higher, but hey, it's got 50,000 health on it, or 49,300, pretty close, and 12.5 crit chance. I have two versions. I can run this version, or I can switch it up. If I feel like, where did it go? There it is. If I feel like I can lose some health, which I'm sure I could, I can run this health. This chest here, still Berserk, hard-hitting, offensive mod slot. I gain 24 headshot damage here. In fact, I think this is probably a better bet. But since I'm not running clutch, I figured, hey, let's just go with 200k health. This still puts me at about 180k health. That's not that bad. And I gain 24 headshot damage. So it's really a choice between these two. If I'm running with a really good group, I would for sure run this chest with higher headshot. If I was running with a shittier group, I would go with the more health so that I get a better buffer of, survivability. So for this build version that I'm going to show you, we're just going to assume that I'm running the high health version of this. Oh, by the way, weapon damage on my gun is 38.7. It's not the highest, but it's pretty damn high considering how much health and armor I have, and Berserk is, working here. I guess after chest, we'll just go mask. I'm running Providence Defense. I actually have two pieces, my mask and my knee pads, for that health percent bonus. I'll show you why I chose the knee pads in a bit here, but you get 10% skill power, not useful for this, 8% health, which is pretty cool, 41% damage to elites on this mask, with almost 22,000 health and hard hitting. This thing's got the most health it would allow me to roll onto it. It's a pretty badass mask. This is a total of 51% damage to elites, and it has 21,000 health, plus an 8% health set bonus. Pretty awesome. Now, backpack. At first sight, this backpack looks like it's pretty damn shitty, and it is, but it's better than anything else I have for an LMG build. I'll show you why. The crit damage is useless. Skill power is useless. It's got a decent health roll, 21,000. I rolled it to 9% weapon damage, but it's also got hard hitting. And because it's Petrov, you get 10% LMG damage. So a total damage increase, we got the 10, the 9, and the 10. That's 29% damage increase. 19% of that is weapon and 10 to elites. Now, my best backpack that I currently have right now is this one. This is 9 weapon damage, 3.5 crit chance, 25,000 health, hard hitting, vital, and unfortunately as a utility mod slot. If this was a red mod slot, I would use this over the Petrovs, hands down, because of the extra vital. And I would only be missing out on, 3% weapon damage or so because of the mod slot. You could get like a 7%er if you had a good one, or 6%er. And I would be gaining vital for that, which would put me up to 250,000 health. That's pretty badass, but I still haven't got a good Rush 24 backpack. So since this one only gives me 19% damage modifier, I went with the Petrovs. Now, gloves. These are pretty obvious. These are a 450 pair. Gear score doesn't really matter. So just because this is 450 doesn't mean it's trash. These are the best Alps climbing gloves I've ever found for LMGs. They have 10% LMG. Rolled to hard hitting. I could change this to, if I ever wanted a PvP, could change it to devastating. You could also change this to headshot damage if you wanted, or whatever. And most importantly, they have a red mod slot. This is probably my best mod that I have for LMGs. They're 4% LMG damage, only 0.5 weapon, and 2 to armor. The 2 to armor is really good because it's multiplicative of all of your other damage. So that 2% is a lot more powerful than, if it was 2% weapon damage. So look out for those kind of mods. Very good gloves. Now, holster, we are running the Gilligard Jackrabbit holster, or Gilligard Gackrabbit holster, or Hillahard Hackrabbit holster, whatever you want to call it. But it's pretty awesome. This holster is really badass. I'm talking really badass for this build. We've got 5% armor from the one-piece Gilligard. We've got 8.5% health for one of the attributes. It's re-rolled to 97% of its attributes to 40,000 health, and it has 2 offensive mod slots. So just these 2 mods, This one's 5.5, and this one's only 5. That's 11 or 10.5% weapon damage, plus 40,000 health, 8.5% health, and 5% armor. This single piece of gear is insane. I love it. It's actually really badass, and since I didn't need the crit chance, I went with the 8.5% health. If I was running a clutch build, obviously this would have crit chance and may, in fact, become a Wyvern holster or something. But this thing is awesome. The 2 red mod slots, very useful. Now, some people are like, why would you run an LMG build without Dodge City's Gunslinger holster? And that's an option. This still has 2 red mod slots, so that's really cool. It's got a yellow mod slot, which might be useful if you were running, on the ropes, but I'm not running that. But I would lose out on, 40,000 health, 8.5% health, and 5% armor. Let's just click on it. That would lose me 60,000 health and like 7,000 armor. That is a lot. That's almost 70,000 effective health right there from one single change, just to be able to reload faster. And I don't know. It's up to you guys. If you want to, switch to your pistol to reload all weapons, you can do that. You would then need to make sure you're not using a shotgun. And final piece is my second piece of Providence Defense. The reason I went with Providence Defense is because it's one of the Kneepads that can roll a blue attribute. I have 19,000 health on it with hard hitting and a red mod slot. There's only a couple of, I think this and what's it called? It's the assault or the rifle version. Overlords, I think, can also roll a blue attribute with a red mod slot. But the 2-piece Providence combined with that mask that I had turned out to be a pretty good option. So that's what I'm running there. It's pretty simple and basic on why. And overall, this build does some serious damage. It really does. It hits really hard. And I can't test it out in the shooting range with Berserk active, unfortunately. But it actually really does some serious damage. It does. Like, those are just body shots. But, oh, why did I reload? Probably because I'm used to running a, Eagle Bearer. But body shots, it's popping a million DPS. Oh, I missed a bunch of those shots. Don't let this shitty DPS that you see right here sway you away from this build. It's actually got some pretty good DPS. Unfortunately, it's only giving me targets that are pretty far away right now. Here we go. Let's see what it gives me if we get some close-up targets. It's hitting 169,000 to the head. That is pretty damn good. 169,000 to the... Oh, 173. I take it back. That is a fake news number. 173,000 to the head and 91 to the body. That is pretty damn good. Yeah, I must say, I'm pretty impressed with that. As far as stat-wise go, keep in mind we have 25% headshot damage that's not counted when you shoot the head because of the Nemesis rifle. So we are sitting at almost 39,000 weapon damage, 12.5 crit chance. The headshot base right now is 65, but we've got 25 more. So we're actually sitting at 90% headshot damage. And where is it? Where's my damage to elites? 101% damage to elites. That's pretty impressive. Overall LMG damage is 55 plus 40.5, so 95.5 LMG damage bonus, 101 damage to elites, and 90% headshot with Berserk. This is pretty impressive. And 200,000 health with 180,000 armor. 208,000 health, actually. So almost a 400k effective health pool with some serious damage. And it's really good. I actually like it. If you like LMG builds, I highly recommend giving this new Berserk LMG a try. You'll see here, it just shreds these targets. .5. I've had it down into the 4-second range. I've actually had this in the 4-second range before. Oh, but I reset my my reload. I've had it in like the 4.9s when I'm doing it on very hard. So this thing can shred. It's not. This one will be pretty decent because all of those targets are lined up. 6.7. I did pretty shitty, but it's got some good sustain DPS or DPM, whatever you want to call it, damage per minute, and some good DPS. I think overall it's pretty great. Let me just show you the way I did my gunner spec as well, because some people are going to be curious. There's certain things I stay away from in the gunner spec. So I actually haven't fully upgraded it. I still need 3 more points to fully upgrade my signature weapon that I would probably never use. But most importantly is your LMG damage, and that unlocks your large pouch magazine. I spec also for marksman rifle, and apparently I have submachine gun. I'm not quite sure why I have submachine gun there. I could unlearn that and put it into like this and this here. Now, here's what's important. If you are going to unlock this, every third reload is 50% faster, which is a good talent for the LMG. It does happen occasionally, you know, every third reload is 50% faster. Make sure you only put 1 point into this. You don't want to have a bunch of armor on kill. Some people might, but with Berserk, it's counterproductive. Now, if you're doing really hard content and struggling, maybe you do want the full-on armor on kill benefit from giving each one of these points, but I'm only doing 1 so that I can get this perk here. Now, what's really important is this one. The main reason I run gunner is because of this right here. 20% weapon handling while not moving. You need to be motionless for 1 second. It works in cover, it works out of cover. It pretty much negates the drawback of the unhinged talent on the gun. And it's, I think, really important. Because unhinged, if you're not in cover, the gun does not shoot well at all. But with this talent, if you're standing still, the gun actually shoots, you know, almost like you're in cover. It's pretty great. The other thing here is generate 10% total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Not that important, but you do get some ammo every time, every minute. And this one here is pretty nice. Rate of fire increases by 5% on kill for 5 seconds. It's nothing crazy, but it's okay. The main reason I use this spec is because of emplacement. Top priority there. The 50-round magazine, obviously the LMG damage. And, you know, this is low priority. So if you're new to the gunner spec, you want to spend your points on the LMG damage first to get that magazine. Then you want to spend your points on the emplacement. I would say then spend your point here on barrage. And, you know, then it's a choice if you're going to use the minigun, which I don't think I would ever actually use, or the every third reload is 50% faster. I did not get this because it doesn't really help for me, but I guess this could work. If you're about to die, it's better than dying. Armor kits repair 100% armor and grant 50% bonus armor for 10 seconds. It's not going to really go well with Berserk, but it is an option. And I did hear that they buffed the minigun, so maybe the minigun's better than when I used it last. It was really shitty the last time I used it, and I would have much rather, you know, just used my LMG. You've got other options. I know some people like to run sharpshooter because of the stability. That's nice. That definitely helps. You get better stability running this than the handling of gunner, but your accuracy is going to be really shitty still. Your shot groupings, your reticle size is still going to be really big. So I don't think sharpshooter's worth it. Some people still think that demolitionist is what you're supposed to use, probably because this used to be the LMG spec, but honestly, there's not really anything that goes well. I see people all the time, oh, use demolitionist because of the out of cover damage. But I mean, group members gain 5% damage to targets out of cover. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. The coolest thing about gunner is when armor is reduced to 0, it refills all main weapon ammo. This can go really good with Berserk. So if you are running Demolitionist, probably the main reason you're doing it is because of Crisis Response. This is a really good talent. I think it's the best talent that Demolitionist has, and it goes really good with the Berserk. Mostly when you run Clutch. If you're not running Clutch, this isn't as good because you're not going in and out of max armor or, no armor as often. But I recommend the Gunner, and I think I covered everything. There's a lot of new changes. I'm going to do a YouTube video on a bunch of the changes, the things that I think are important, the things that I think are cool, and the things I think are not cool. One of the things that's cool is this new mask. I totally look like a badass with this thing now. I'm really digging it. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching this video. You can check me out live, Twitch TV/Inigo Montoya. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what you think about the build, what you would do differently, why you think Unhinged is somehow better. I know Spotter does work good now. They did change Pulse so that it goes on cooldown like 3 seconds after you pulse now, so it does work better now with on the ropes. But still, I myself don't think it's worth using yet. Maybe in PvP. In PvP, I think I would be running Spotter with on the ropes, with weapon damage places, because I wouldn't be needing all this damage to elites. But that's a whole different build for a different day, and maybe we'll do one of those. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you around.